Hello everyone and welcome back to The Man's Kitchen. It is me, your host, James the Man's Man. And today I'm going to show you how to blind bake a pizza crust. And we'll get to that right after this. Alright, I hope you enjoyed my little intro there, and if you want to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, you can see pictures and behind the scenes stuff, just like today. Today, I made exclusively for Instagram a short video on how to make pizza dough, if you've never made it before. I mean, you can buy your pizza dough, or you can make it. And if you want to look at my barbecue pizza from the summer I did, I'll link that video up over my shoulder, and you can see there I made pizza dough. But you can also go over to Instagram, where now I have a video of making pizza dough. So today we're going to blind bake our pizza. And that means we're going to roll out the dough, and we're going to put it in the oven with no toppings on it. Then we're going to pull it out and top it. And the reason we're going to do that is because the topping for today's pizza is going to be cooked on the stovetop. And since I'm going to be cooking it on the stovetop, everything's already going to be hot, the sauce is going to be hot. All we really need to do is melt the cheese on it. And if we put it in on a raw dough, then the dough will, one of two things will happen. You'll cook the dough just right and everything will be burnt, or you'll cook the top just right and the bottom will come out all doughy and raw. So that's why we're going to blind bake it. You can also use a very similar procedure for making pies. If you wanted to make like a cream-filled pie, then you would blind bake your pie crust. And then when you pull it out, you could fill it with your cream since you're not actually going to bake it. All right, now that that has been explained, let's go over to the ingredients. All right, our most important ingredient, obviously, is our homemade pizza dough, which I have right here. And again, if you want to see how to make that, you can either watch my barbecue pizza video, or you can go over on Instagram and watch a video dedicated solely to just making this pizza dough. Now, we're not going to cover this in tomato sauce. We're actually going to make a white sauce pizza. So this will be very similar to my chicken tetrazzini I made a few weeks ago. We're going to be frying up our vegetables. I've got some onions, mushrooms, peppers in a frying pan, and then we're going to make an Alfredo sauce around it. So I've got some 18% cream, some garlic butter, some Parmesan cheese. Once this comes together to make a nice thick sauce, we're going to pour it on our pizza crust, slap some cheese on it, and melt it in the oven. So let's start off with the actual cooking. Okay, so the first thing I did was I got my oven preheated to 450 degrees convection. And I'm going to get a frying pan on right now preheating too. Okay, I got that down on low just to get it warm. Now when you're working with doughs, the most important thing is to get some benching flour down. So put some flour down on your work surface. Take some more flour and flour up your rolling pin. Okay? There. Now we're going to cut this in half. I'm going to use my spatula. And the reason I'm not going to use a knife is because dough is one of the things that will dull your knife the fastest. I know, you're probably wondering, how does dough dull a knife? I don't know the science behind it either. But cutting dough with your knife will dull it. So that's why in bakeries the bakers are always using bench scrapers and stuff to cut them. Now, we got our little ball of dough here. Let's roll it up into a good ball. Flatten it out. Okay, and we need to roll out our pizza. Okay, I'm not good at spinning a pizza up in the air like on TV, but I know that if you're going to do it, and not just TV, but real pizza shops and stuff. I know you hold your hands like this, and you let it ride on your knuckles as you toss it. So basically just roll it out, apply firm pressure, okay, we're gonna make ourselves hopefully a nice round pizza. I don't really think it's gonna be round because I suck at rolling out perfect pizzas. Actually, I don't see any harm in trying. You guys want to see me try and spin in the air? I'll try toss it up, see what happens. Okay, I got it as big as I got it. So rest it on your knuckles. Oh! See, and that's why I don't do this too well. Although I guess if I practiced, I could get better at it. Woo! And let's see. No, it's actually more square now than before I started. So that was a fun waste of time. Yeah, as you can see, it's actually more square. So, but it is rolling out a little nicer. I mean, and you know what, if it's not perfectly square, perfectly round, you know what, at least it looks homemade. So your guests will definitely know, you know what, they didn't buy this, they really did make it. Let's try and get something that resembles a pizza. Okay. Alright, now that it's rolled out, put it on our pizza pan here. We're going to take a fork. Now this is called docking when we stab it. And what this does is it allows any moisture in there that's going to want to expand and cause air bubbles. It gives it a way out. So that way this doesn't blow up into like a big puff thing. The other thing we're going to do, we're going to take a little olive oil. And I don't think I know where the brushes are. But that's okay, we don't need a brush. We'll just take a little olive oil, pour a little bit on, smear it all around, and just a little more. That'll help toast the top. So I'm going to put this in the oven for about 7 minutes. And I'll bring the camera over to the stove and we'll fry up the rest of the ingredients. Okay, so I have my pan, like I said, preheating. We'll turn it up to, it's a medium-high. How does that feel? A little heat there. Turn it up to low, medium. Medium-low, medium, somewhere in there. Put some olive oil in here. Now, there's no exact measurements for this. I'm just putting in a little bit of onions. I have the rest of these chopped up for something else later on in the day. Put our onions. We're going to put our peppers, a little bit of mushrooms. Now reach in the cupboard, grab some salt. Oh, that looks like a lot of salt, but it really wasn't. Okay, grab a little black pepper. I don't know, because all the salt's basically on one mushroom, so it looks like a lot. That was kosher salt. It wasn't a lot. The box is basically almost empty. Okay, we're going to give this a good toss. Trying to heat up a little bit now that we're managing it. Okay, we're going to cook these down. And over here beside it, in the meantime, I'm just going to cut off a little bit of this garlic butter. Just what I think I'm going to need for this to make the Alfredo. Alright, so we got ourselves a little knob of butter. Put the rest of it back in the fridge. And you know what? I won't make you watch me fry these vegetables up. I will just cut the tape right now, and I'll get back to you right after they're cooked off. Okay, my vegetables have cooked up a bit. You don't want to cook them like you're actually going to eat a pasta. I mean, this is a pizza, so I would like to have a little bit of a crunch to them. And since I'm using a non-stick pan, and why am I using a non-stick pan? Because it was clean. It was what was in the pan drawer, and it was clean. If I were using a stainless pan, I'd be using a whisk right now, but I'm going to use a spatula because I'm using a non-stick pan. Okay, now that the butter's in there, let's add some 18% cream. Just want enough to kind of cover the bottom of the pan. Okay. And the reason that I did it this way was I used the oil to cook the vegetables, and then I added the butter because I didn't want to give the butter the opportunity to burn. So I'm going to get my measuring spoons out now. And we're going to start, you can see that the 18% cream is already thickening up just from reducing. But I'm going to start with about a tablespoon, give or take, of Parmesan cheese. Okay. Get a couple tosses there. Okay, mix it up. See, it's starting, it's pulled itself together. It's a nice Alfredo sauce. Okay. And that is going to be what is on our pizza. I think I'm going to need just a little more sauce though. So put a little more cream in there. And just a smidgen more Parmesan cheese. So we don't thin it out any by adding that extra cream. Okay? We're going to mix it all up. It's been 6 minutes, that's close enough. It's been 6 minutes since we put that pizza shell in the oven. So let's check on it. Okay. Yeah, it's starting to puff up a bit. It's got some cook on it. Okay, it's not going to be a fully finished pizza shell, but it just needs a head start. And the whole point of today's video is to teach you how to blind bake. Okay, so we're going to put our topping on here. Okay, one thing that goes really good on a pizza like this is chicken. Chicken Alfredo vegetable pizza. But I've had a ton of meat today already. Had meat with my breakfast, had meat with my lunch. So it's okay if I don't get some meat with my supper. Gonna grab some shredded cheese. Now I do love lots of cheese. And you can see this is probably enough for just 2 people. So that's, you can make, if you had people over, you could make 2 of these at the same time. You could have 2 frying pans going. You could fry up different ingredients and make 2 different pizzas, or you could make 1 normal pepperoni pizza and 1 Alfredo pizza. But that's basically it. Now I'm going to put it in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes. And I'll pull it out of the oven when it's all finished. Alright guys, you can see I did get a little bit of an air bubble here, but that's fine. It's not really going to affect much. I cooked this for about 12 minutes at 450 degrees. And did it ever get hot in the house? I had to put the furnace fan on, and I had to open some windows. And for the record, it is February in Canada, and I've got windows open because a 450 degree house is hot. Okay, now that we've got this all cut up, I'm going to taste her up and tell you what I think. Okay, it's got a nice, you can see in the bottom here, it's got a nice toasted crust. This is hot, I just pulled it out of the oven. I'm a sucker for this, I always burn myself on pizza. That's good. I love a good white sauce pizza, a good Alfredo pizza. It's one of my favorite treats to have. It's a lot more richer than a regular pizza. And a nice thin, crispy crust like this, it does wonders for it. There was a bit of pepper in that bite there. The pepper was still a little on the verge. I'm not going to say raw, but not cooked. It was somewhere in that middle where it's got that right amount of crunch without being too crunchy. It's definitely a rustic-looking pizza, and I think it's going to satisfy a lot of you out there. Today was really just about showing you how to blind bake in case you want to cook your crust a little bit ahead. In case you're having that trouble where maybe your crust is coming out a little doughy, maybe it's your toppings are getting a little burnt. This way you can cook them separately, and then you can put them together for a finish. I tried to go a little faster today. I've noticed my last couple of videos have been creeping up to about half an hour. But I've also noticed I'm getting more views on my videos. Maybe I'm just getting more views because my channel has been around a little longer. Maybe I'm getting more views because you like the longer videos. I'm not quite sure, but I thought I'd try and get this done as quick as possible. Going forward, if a video does take me half hour to shoot, it'll take me half hour to shoot. If I can knock it off in 10 minutes, I'm not going to add fluff just to get time. Also, I've kind of closed the window down. I only got one submission for a viewer request on last week's, 2 weeks ago, the video I did. It's a steak dish, so that's what I'll be making next week for my 300 subscriber viewer request. Like always, if you want to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, that way you can see behind the scene pictures and cool little videos. Thanks, and have yourself a great day.